And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene here at the Lee Street Ice Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of the Tulsa Ice Oilers. Let's take a look at the lineup for our show this week. It starts with Oklahoma City Thunder in the spotlight, down the second round of the NBA playoffs, and we'll talk to Matt Pinto, the longtime radio play-by-play voice. Wrap up Kentucky Derby 151, Randy Moss at NBC Sports. Oilers football with a new offensive coordinator, Andre Coles, and a big victory over Green Bay this past weekend. And we'll wrap up the Tulsa Oilers record season. We'll have Coach Rob Murray on to talk about the Oilers in 24 and 25. First, though, let's take a look at our Tulsa World Hot Topics. Our first hot topic, Oklahoma City Thunder Round 2. After sweeping its NBA first-round playoff opponent Memphis in 4 games, the Thunder now move into the second round this week of the Western Conference semifinals against the Denver Nuggets. We'll get the inside on the matchup with the radio voice of the Thunder, Matt Pinto. Our Texas League Tulsa Drillers AA affiliate of Los Angeles Dodgers had a great week. They won 5 of 6 games from Arkansas at One Oak Field. The Drillers now 12 and 15 on the young Texas League season. Tulsa travels to Amarillo, Texas this week for a 6-game series, May 6th to the 11th, then return home to One Oak Field. They have back-to-back homestands hosting Northwest Arkansas, then Springfield from May 13th to May 25th. A lot of baseball coming up at One Oak Field. FC Tulsa dropped its second straight match on the road, losing 2-1 at Orange County FC last Saturday night. A chippy match with several yellow cards ended in the scoreless first half, with Tulsa being outshot 44-4. Orange County scored the first goal 10 minutes into the second half, but in the 74th minute, Tulsa tied the match on a Taylor Calahera goal, his team leading 7th of the season. Tulsa, now 4-4, returns to One Oak Field this Saturday, May 10th. It's Mayfest night, hosting the El Paso Locomotives at 7 p.m. Tulsa Indoor Professional Football League team, the Oilers, won their second straight game, outscoring Green Bay 46-30 Saturday night at the BOK Center. Tulsa's looking for revenge after a tough 74-68 loss to that same Green Bay team in overtime back on April 11th in Wisconsin. Oilers are now 3-2 on the season. We'll get more details on the game with the new offensive coordinator, Andre Coles. He'll join us later in the show. Tulsa, by the way, back in action this Saturday, May 10th. They'll host the Iowa Barnstormers at 7:05. The first 1,000 fans receive a free Oilers football bucket hat. And the defending national champion Oklahoma softball team just clinched its first season Southeastern Conference championship. Sooners are the number 1 seed now in the SEC postseason tournament. It's playing this week in Georgia. And OU head coach Patty Gasso was just named the College Softball Coach of the Year by the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. Gasso will be coaching the U.S. Olympic team in her 31st season as head coach. She has won 8 national championships for the Oklahoma Sooners. Great show coming up. It starts with the Oklahoma City Thunder in playoff action with Matt Pinto. Voice of Thunder is next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball,
fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
The Oklahoma City Thunder now in the second round of the NBA playoffs, the semifinals, the Western Conference. They take on the Denver Nuggets. They swept the Memphis Grizzlies 4-0, improved their record on the season to 72-14. Just incredible. The guy who's called every one of them the voice of the Oklahoma City Thunder on radio is Matt Pinto. I talked to Matt earlier today to get a scouting report on the second round opponent, and also to talk about what has been a magical season.
Yeah, it has been. And the thing that's encouraging, Chris, in the playoffs is this team, just like in the regular season, finds different ways, a variety of ways to win games. I mean, you look at the series against Memphis, a 51-point historic blowout Game 1 win. Game 2, they weathered a lot of different Memphis runs, still won by 19. Then they go on the road for the first time in the playoffs to Memphis for Game 3. And in that game, fell behind by 29 points in the second quarter. We're down 26 at halftime. Rallied to win by 6. That established NBA playoff history. And then in Game 4, were challenged down the stretch and wound up making the plays they needed to win by 2. So, really, I think they confront a lot of different scenarios that prepare them, I think, pretty well for what's in front of them in the Western semifinals against Denver now.
Yeah, is that the best one for them to face at this point? The Denver Nuggets. I know they had quite a battle to get through to get reached this point. They had to play all 7, so they've been pretty tired, and the Thunder, well-rested team.
Yeah, I think the question always, when you're off for more than a week, and this team last played a week ago Saturday, is rest versus rust. And I think you'll take the rest anytime, given the cumulative wear mentally and physically over the course of a season, and then the first round of the playoffs. But we'll see. It might take a minute for this team to get some of the rust shaken off, to get rhythm and flow back. I was really encouraged off of the break they had, Chris, before the first round of the playoffs against Memphis. They had a full week off to wait for who survived the play-in, which was the Grizzlies as the 8th seed, and the Thunder responded really well in Game 1. Did the same a year ago, if you remember, entering the second round of the playoffs against Dallas, came out strong and won Game 1 against the Mavericks in the Western semis by 22 at home. So they have a blueprint. They look to follow it and maybe build on it in this layoff period of time to prepare themselves.
All right, Matt, give us a scouting report on these Denver Nuggets, led, of course, by that superstar Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is kind of a transformational talent, a guy that, really makes everybody around him better, an extraordinary passer, operates in the high post. They run their offense through him, capable scorer, both around the rim and then stepping out to three-point range on occasion. So he's going to get a lot of attention in this series. But I think the bigger issues for the Thunder are make sure you get back. This team led the league in fast break points during the regular season, also led the league scoring in the paint. So they really are not a big volume three-point shooting team, as some the Thunder have faced, but they get out in transition. They look to score quickly. They were one of the more potent offenses in the NBA this season, top 4 offensive efficiency, not as good defensively. I think that's the area the Thunder really can maximize their advantages against Denver if they can be solid defensively themselves, get out and run this Denver team when they get the ball off the board following misses, and also execute at a high level offensively. I'm not sure anybody that the Nuggets have in uniform can deal with what Shea will bring consistently throughout the course of the series, or J-Dub, honestly.
Yeah, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, people were kind of concerned the first couple of games. He seemed to be a little off his game. Is he back to SGA form, the MVP form?
Yeah, I think, the playoffs are different. And he saw some different looks from Memphis in the first 2 games of the series. At home, Game 3, not as efficient shooting the ball either. But the things he continued to do were be incredibly disruptive with his length and anticipation defensively, and really found teammates. So the offense flowed, even though, given the attention he was getting, his shots were not falling at the same volume they had been during the regular season. Then in Game 4, outstanding, scored 37, a high for the playoffs for him, and shot better than 50% from the field. So I think he's excited about what's ahead. He's a tremendous leader, and he makes guys around him better, even if his offense is not at that extraordinarily high level we've seen it throughout the course of the season.
And Matt, I've heard you talk about on your broadcast so many times that one of the great strengths of this Oklahoma City Thunder team, the youngest in the NBA, is their incredible bench. They can really go deep, and that's not the case with the opponent coming up this weekend.
Yeah, the Nuggets really, truly go 6 deep, and that's Russell Westbrook being that sixth man off the bench. On occasion, they'll play Peyton Watson, who's more of a defensive-minded player, long, shot-blocking, 6'8", athletic. I think he's a better offensive player at home than he is on the road consistently. So really a 6 to 7 deep roster. At times they'll play DeAndre Jordan to sub for Nikola Jokic if Jokic is in foul trouble. But that's not going to be for a very long stretch of the game. Thunder on the flip side played as many as 11 in most of the games to this point on this playoff run. Now, I really think that Mark Daigneault's done a really good job preparing everybody to play if their number is called. But I think it's going to be matchup dictated from here in the Western semifinals and potentially beyond for him. He's got incredible trust in 1 through 15 on his roster, and he's shown that. He's shown the willingness to bring those guys in and call their number at any time. This team understands its roles. I think the other thing this team exudes is when players are called on for longer stretches, they show they have a bit more leeway in their game than simply the role they play. We saw that a number of times during the season when the starters rested.
What about the Russell Westbrook factor? How do you think he'll be received at Paycom?
No, there's no doubt. I mean, he'll be received by the standing ovation and the love and the adoration he always is. I mean, this guy has been enormously impactful in the history of this team, showed tremendous loyalty to this team in a couple of different instances where they were in transition. Kevin Durant leaving, Russ decided to stay, and then bringing on Paul George in the aftermath of Paul George, really not a request from Russell to move on until shortly after that period of time. So I think there's an incredible amount of loyalty shown to him because he still contributes in a major way to this community, Chris, very philanthropically involved in Oklahoma City and this state. And he says he'll continue to be that throughout his entire life. This feels like a second home to him.
Okay, Matt, what's your prediction on this second round semifinals, the Western Conference Finals? The Thunder headed to the finals?
Yeah, I don't really get into that. I think that if the Thunder play to optimum and the Nuggets do, the Thunder are the better team. They proved that by 18 games during the regular season. The playoffs are different, and they've got to find ways to deal with when adversity creeps in, because it will. I don't anticipate seeing a sweep in the series like we saw in round one. We'll see how the Thunder handle it. There are areas that they have yet to full-on experience at playoff time because this group and to the core have only been through one other postseason run. So there are unknowns. And I think this team has tremendous belief in itself. They've got confidence. We know the skill level. We know the depth top to bottom. They're the favorite, and I think they deserve to be the favorite. And we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a fun series, I think.
Matt Pinto, radio voice of the Oklahoma City Thunder. 72 games done, and hopefully a lot more to come. Matt, thank you. You're our insider. Look forward to having you during the playoffs. Help us out, Oklahoma sports scene.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
Straight ahead, we'll take you to Churchill Downs, Louisville, Kentucky, with our friend Randy Moss, NBC sports analyst, to give you all the information on the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. That's coming up right after this quick timeout.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
America's greatest thoroughbred race, the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby, this past Saturday, always the first Saturday in May, at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, on a very rainy day and a very sloppy racetrack. Talked to our NBC sports analyst Randy Moss, gave us a preview the week before. Now he has a recap for us. I asked Randy if things went the way he thought they might at that Kentucky Derby 151.
Given the track condition, Chris, I thought the race was remarkably formful. You didn't have a whole lot of trouble in a 19-horse field, and the three horses that I thought were the most likely to win, any of the three, wound up running 1, 2, 3. I mean, I thought I went through the whole week thinking that Journalism and Sovereignty was a pretty solid exacta. And then when Baeza drew in, I thought he probably would deserve to be right behind Journalism. And that's basically the way they ran. I mean, Belmont does what Belmont does and points horses for big races and gets a peak effort out of them. And Sovereignty was the best on the day.
Yeah, I noticed Belmont had said all week that he thought Sovereignty was his best chance to win the Derby, but we've known Belmont for a long time. Randy, you and I covered him, of course, during the great cigar days, the Horse of the Year days, the great winning streak he put together with that incredible horse. But I love the fact that Belmont now has the Derby that he said, I did it the right way this time. And of course, we can go back to that disqualification that he won his first Derby.
Yeah, with Country House in 2019, it was a 23-minute delay out on the racetrack where everyone was waiting on pins and needles to see what the stewards were going to do, and Mott won it, but he didn't get that feeling as the horses crossed the wire of, I've won the Derby. He didn't get that elation. It was delayed gratification, and it wasn't quite the same. Brad Cox has said the same thing, obviously, about Mandaloun, who got his Derby win much, much later than 23 minutes after Medina Spirit was ultimately disqualified. But, this time Mott got all the emotion that goes along with the Kentucky Derby winner as they crossed the wire. And it made such sense, Chris. I was shocked that the odds were as high on Sovereignty as they were, because the horse ran the best race of his life coming into the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. In the fall, as a 2-year-old, he ran in a race called the Street Sense, and it was a 1.1 miles, and he's a stretch runner, of course, and he dropped back to last behind a slow early pace, which would seem to really have put him behind the 8 ball. And yet he circled the field and drew off and won with absolute authority, a commanding 5-length win. And the horses behind him were Tistastic and Sandman. So with the long Churchill Downs stretch and with Sovereignty's running style, and, it was a natural fit. And it seems that he likes Churchill Downs because as soon as he got there before the Kentucky Derby, Chris, he began training much better than he had trained in Florida. So no surprise at all that Sovereignty did what he did. And now we'll see if he moves on to the Preakness in 2 weeks. That's still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, I noticed Bill Mott said after the race, he noted that he had to get back to the barn, and he said he finished up his food real quickly, but he said luckily when he clipped heels, he has a small scrape, about 4 inches, he said, on his right front pastern during the run. He didn't think it'd be a big thing, but still something to consider.
Yeah, he clipped heels in the first 16th of a mile. It wasn't a dramatic, clip heels situation, but it was visible. I mean, we saw it as we were watching the replay on NBC. So no surprise that he's got a little cut there. And the thing about Mott that you have to keep in mind, obviously he's a very conservative trainer. The horse always comes first. Even if the Preakness were 5 weeks or 4 weeks after the Kentucky Derby, he would still be saying sort of the same things. Well, let's see how the horse comes out of it. I don't want to commit to anything yet. I want to see how he bounces back. I want to see his energy level. But the fact that the Preakness is still 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby makes this a lot more of a dicey situation, because I promise you, no doubt about it, if this were an ordinary series of races and not the Triple Crown, Mott wouldn't even be considering running Sovereignty back in 2 weeks in the Preakness. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what he does.
I love this quote from Bill after the races. I've been in this game for a long time, and I've dreamed about having my horse go across the finish line first in the Kentucky Derby. And now it finally happened, and it feels very good. I think back to Charlie Whittingham, Hall of Fame trainer who had accomplished so much. But he told me until he won the Kentucky Derby with Sunday Silence back in, 1980, 88 was it? That everybody asked him, oh, you train racehorses? Have you won the Kentucky Derby? That's always the measure, isn't it, Randy?
Exactly. And Mott has run horses, obviously. I think he'd run 8 or 9, maybe 10 in the Kentucky Derby before. Even when he won it by disqualification with Country House, he finished third that year, by the way, also after Maximum Security was demoted. He wound up finishing third with Tacitus. But Sovereignty is not only a much better horse than either Country House or Tacitus, he's far better than the other horses that Mott had that ran in the Derby. In most of those situations, it was the owner that wanted to run. And so, Mott went along with it, knowing that the horse either A, wasn't really good enough to be in the Derby, or B, wasn't really a 1.25 mile type horse. And for a long time, Chris, as you know, Bill wasn't really given Kentucky Derby type horses by owners to train. He was known primarily for a long time as a trainer of top grass horses. But you and I have known Mott since the 1980s when he had dirt mares like Cephas Beauty and Heatherton, and he had sprinters like, Taylor Special. I mean, yeah, a great trainer like Bill Mott, and he's one of the best ever. Can train horses on grass or dirt equally well, and I think owners now realize that.
Well, take us to the Kentucky Derby. Kind of got to a rough start. Bob Baffert's #1 or Citizen Bull caused a little commotion there right after the start of the race.
Yeah, he veered out pretty sharply right after the break with Martin Garcia. The horse that got bothered the most out of that whole thing was American Promise, the Wayne Lucas trainee, who normally doesn't break all that quickly from the starting gate. And so as a result, he was right there behind Citizen Bull and kind of caught the brunt of that. He ran so poorly, though, that I don't know if you could use that as an overall excuse for the way he ran. Uh, Journalism got bothered just a touch, but I wouldn't really give him much of an excuse for that either. Fortunately, Citizen Bull, I think what he didn't really have a dramatic impact on the outcome of the race. The Japanese horse, Luxor Cafe, broke in the air and then had some traffic trouble coming by the wire the first time. That was a legitimate excuse. And Final Gambit, Chris, the fourth place finisher, also had some trouble through the stretch for the first time. He was kind of expected to be last, and he was last, but he was further back even than I think he would have been if he hadn't had that difficulty. But all in all, 19 horse field, stretch runners running 1, 2, 3, 4. There were very few issues with any of those horses as they weave through the field.
Yeah, Rachel, they got going in the 3/16 pole when journalism hooked up with Sovereignty there, and I was really impressed. Sovereignty just finally pulled away inside the 16th.
Yeah, so how about Godolphin, right?
Oh, finally. Yeah.
Sheikh Mohammed has been trying, as we know, for decades to win the Kentucky Derby, and he's tried it all sorts of different ways. Initially, he was buying ready-made horses, trying to, in the United States, trying to win the Kentucky Derby that way, and that didn't work. And then he was breeding horses, but training them in Dubai, and he was dead set on proving that you could prepare horses in Dubai and bring them over to the United States and still run well in the Kentucky Derby. That didn't work. And so now in the last decade or so, Godolphin has really, really amped up its U.S. breeding program. It's been the champion owner, Eclipse Award winning breeder for I think the last 5 years in a row, and the Eclipse Award champion owner for the last 4 years. So it was really just a matter of time. The horses are running so well. The horses that they bred in the United States running in our races. So we knew they were going to win it. But how about the weekend they had, Chris? They not only swept the Oaks in the Derby, becoming the first sole owner to do that since Calumet back in 1952. but also in England. The first two classics of the year in the UK are also run last weekend. The 1,000 guineas for Phillies and the 2,000 guineas for Colts. Godolphin won both of those.
Wow. Wow.
So how about that? They swept both of those races in the UK. They swept the Oaks and the Derby in the US. What a weekend for Sheikh Mohammed and the whole Godolphin team.
Now, he's done so much for the sport, of course, and is the largest owner of racehorse in the world, has studs in Dubai, Ireland, the US, all over the place, Australia, and he has 300 horses in training. So he finally got his Kentucky Derby. I got to show the jockey, Junior Alvarado, had a fractured shoulder in Florida and thought he was not going to have a chance. And Bill Mott stuck with his jockey.
Yeah, it was a nice story, Chris. Mott and Alvarado have had a whole lot of success together, and Mott is really uncommonly loyal to the riders that are doing well for him. He and Jerry Bailey, of course, had a long relationship, and Bailey was always the number one guy that Mott went to, and now that's become Junior Alvarado. And Alvarado rode Sovereignty to a win in the Fountain of Youth Stakes, rode him very well. I mean, I believe he rode him in the Street Sense. I'm looking, yes. Street Sense is a 2-year-old. As a matter of fact, the only race he didn't ride Sovereignty in the horse's 6-race career was the race after the Fountain of Youth, which was the Florida Derby. And Alvarado had the shoulder injury. But Mott reached out to him and said, hey, look, if you can get well before the Kentucky Derby, this horse is yours. I mean, he might have run second in the Florida Derby with Manny Franco, but this is your horse. And as long as you can get back and ready to roll, he is yours for the Derby. And that was a lot of incentive, obviously, for Junior Alvarado to really ramp up his rehab and get ready, because he knew that this horse was a live horse for the Derby, and he knew what Mott could do with it.
Randy, great job. Thank you so much for being our inside analyst and the supporter, and great job handicapping the race as well. Look forward to talking to you with the Preakness we tape on Monday after the Derby. So they haven't talked about the Preakness field yet, but after the Preakness, to get you back on and recap the second jewel of the Triple Crown in a couple of weeks.
All right, Chris, let's do it. Take care, my friend.
We'll have Randy Moss back with us in a couple of weeks to wrap up the Preakness Stakes. Right now, though, let's turn our attention to the Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football League team. Had a big victory this past weekend over Green Bay. Really, the thing has turned this team around is a big offensive push, a new quarterback, and a new offensive coordinator. You get to meet him next on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Andre Cole's our guest right after they take this time out.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit, so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Pitch. Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
We're back at Oklahoma Sports Scene, our Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football League team. Got to its best start in its 3-year history. A lot of it thanks to this guy right here. their new offensive coordinator. Welcome, please, Andre Cole. Andre, welcome to Tulsa. Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I was excited about getting him from the Frisco Fighters. Oh, he's quarterback. They came as a great team here. Hey, give us some of your background first, though, Coach. Your coaching background, playing background.
Born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So I'm still getting used to the South. It's been a while, but was a two-sport athlete in college, and then wound up playing quarterback in arena football for 9 seasons, and just naturally transitioned into coaching back home in Philadelphia, and then made a stop in Jacksonville, Florida, and then was fortunate to get on down in Frisco, Texas for 3 seasons, and was the head coach for 2 years down there, and up in Tulsa now. So I've been around for a while.
Well, I know Marvin Jones was thrilled to get you here. And
Yeah.
Marvin, of course, his special, obviously, is defense. That's his background and stuff. He needed some offensive power, and you sure brought that with some of your players from Frisco as well.
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough to get a group of guys that still wanted to play. And Tulsa's not that far from where we were in Frisco, and they knew that everything in Tulsa was first class, and just need them up here and score some points. So we're thankful Coach Jones kind of let us integrate and help to power the Oilers even more.
And so far, it's been working pretty well.
Yeah.
Through 5 games this season, I was adding this up here, Coach. We scored 216 points, and including 68, 45, and 46 points in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It's been good. We're finally hitting our stride. The first 2 games started out a little slow, but our offense does have some nuances, and it's not. It's a little complicated. So once we gelled and kind of picked it up, now you're kind of seeing what our offense is capable of. And even when we go back and watch film, there's still some points that we leave out there on the board. So there's still a lot of room for us to improve, and we hope to do so.
Well, all offenses, as we know, no matter what level of football, starts and ends with a quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this special quarterback you bought here, T.J. Edwards. He's been on our show before, too. And
awesome.
Great young man. Yeah.
He's a great kid. The best thing about T.J. is that he's the first one in, last one out. He's a leader on and off the field, and he's a guy that players want to play for. He was the runner-up for the Division II Heisman, so he's always just played at a high level. He cares about his craft, and he cares about winning, and that's all you can ask for from a quarterback.
46-30, they beat Green Bay, and I know that had to be special because they've been tough on Tulsa through the years here, especially this last time we went up there, lost a
overtime,
massive overtime. What was that crazy score too?
74-68.
You remember that? Huh?
Oh, I'll never forget the losses. Yeah.
Well, tell us about the game this past Saturday night with Green Bay, because again, TJ was special. 2 rushing, 2 passing touchdowns.
Yep. So our game plan coming into this game, which was different than last game, is we wanted to control the clock a little bit more. So the indoor game is fast-paced, and you can score a lot of points quick. We didn't want to get into another shootout with them, so we slowed down a little bit, kind of utilized some clock. And then once we got up, we knew that we could sustain that lead. So just a shift in our game plan. Instead of running our speed offense, we kind of slowed it down and chewed up some clock.
What's the attraction of the arena football? People haven't seen it, experienced it. It's a wild game. It's a lot of fun, and just action all the time.
Yeah, it's a true front row seat.
Yeah.
So think about when you're at an outdoor football game. Even if you have a front row seat, you may be 200 yards away.
That's right.
In our game, you're right up on top of the action. You can hear the play calls. You can hear the guys. They interact with you. If a football goes into the stands, you get to keep it. So it's just a full experience of pro football, and being able to hear and have your eyes on it, really side by side. So it's pretty cool.
You can keep the footballs, but return the players.
Yes.
Sometimes you get them in the stands too, don't you, Coach?
Yeah. If a player starts inbounds and leaps into the stands, the catch counts. So you can catch a football or you can catch a player, but like you said, we like the players back, so we need them to win.
What are your impressions of your home field, the BOK Arena?
It's incredible. It's like no other place in the IFL. Coming in here as a visiting team previously, you know that it gets packed, and you know that the fans are passionate, that they care. So being an Oiler now and having that support, it's nothing like being able to have a home field advantage. And third down, it's loud, and when you score a touchdown, it's loud. And our players embrace that. The fans know these guys by name. When we're out and about in the town, guys are saying hello, and they've really embraced us and welcomed us. So the Oilers are the best fans in the league, and we're just happy to win at home for them.
Yeah, I admire the dedication of these players too, because this is, in many ways, for the love of the game.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that have different goals. A lot of our guys still have goals to get back to 11-man football, whether it's the CFL, the UFL, or a shot at the NFL.
Sure.
So it's an opportunity to have fresh game film. That's what scouts want to see at the next level. So if you want to stay active and if you want to have a shot, the IFL is a great place to play and get some good quality film and stay active.
Those who just can't give up the dream. I've been to several of the Oilers tryouts and stuff too, and
Yeah.
I tell you that people are passionate about it.
Oh, I mean, it's pro football.
Yeah.
You know, if you want an opportunity to continue to play and if you love the game, it's an opportunity and it's right here in your backyard.
Give us a scouting report. We've got another home game coming up on Saturday night here.
Yes, we play Iowa Barnstormers this Saturday. A well-coached
That was
physical
Kurt
team.
Warner's old team, right?
And it is Kurt Warner's old
That's
team.
right,
So
yeah.
if you've seen the movie, the Iowa Barnstormers,
Yeah.
that's just coming to town. And they're well-coached. They're physical. They play fast. So we have to come out and play our brand of football, which is to score every possession. And we try to get 2 stops a half. As long as we do that, we should be in good shape. But Iowa is very competitive.
Tell me about your relationship with the head coach, Marvin Jones.
Yeah, so Coach Jones and I were kind of cut from the same cloth when it comes to the IFL. We just want to win.
Yeah.
And we want to put the best product that we can on the field. So him and I always had a good relationship, even when we were coaching against each other. So when this opportunity came to, he made the phone call, and I was like, hey, let's figure it out. Let's do what we got to do. So we talked almost every day in the offseason about how we wanted the team to look, the kind of guys that we wanted to attract, and the kind of team that we wanted to put on the field. And now you can finally start to see that coming together. So
He's getting some real talent here, along with the
Yeah.
coach and some players too. And his son now is going to be a University of Oklahoma Sooner, huh?
He
How about
is.
that?
He is.
Yeah.
That's awesome for him too, to be able to coach in the state, and now your son
Yeah.
is going to be a Sooner. That's super exciting for him. So
Well, Andy Skirdo is the owner of the Tulsa Oilers football team, the Oilers hockey team, and this incredible Wee Street Ice Center Arena.
Yeah.
He's something else, isn't he?
yeah, he's a great owner. They spare no expense to make sure that all the players and all the coaches are taken care of. All we have to worry about here is doing our jobs, and it's a beautiful facility. The food's great, so I don't know what else
Yeah.
more you can ask for.
How would you describe your offense? Is there a pattern to this offense or anything special you're trying to accomplish here?
So our offense is we're diverse.
Okay.
We don't come out and give you the same thing every week. Our main thing is to not run into coverage. So there's a lot of outbreaking routes and a lot of concepts and a lot of check downs. So you have to be an intelligent football player. We don't run chalkboard routes.
Okay.
So if I tell you to run this way, but you see a defender there, go the other
Yeah.
way. Where a lot of offenses, you run what's on the paper.
Yeah.
So it's tough for a new guy to walk in and just master our offense. So that's why we meet a lot. We do a lot of coaching, and we get a lot of film work in. Because it is a complicated offense, but you can see through our last couple of games and the points that we put up that when it starts to click, it clicks.
You mentioned T.J. Edwards, the quarterback's kind of the superstar of this team, but
Yeah.
mention some other guys on offense that are really contributing a lot to this football team, the Oilers.
Hassan Rogers has been a Swiss Army knife for us.
Yeah.
He's our backup quarterback, starting running back. He's a holder. He's a kick returner. And with our roster limitations, we can only dress 21 players.
Wow. Yeah.
You need guys like that on the team that can play multiple positions to help an offense out. So we know that we can get him the ball and he'll make a play for us. But all of our receivers are dynamic. Josh Crockett, Cole Blackman, Spencer Tiers. Juju Augustine has been dynamic. It's a guy that's won championships in this league. I think at this point he's leading the league in touchdowns. Maybe he's got a kick return for a touchdown. So all of those guys contribute in their own way. And any one game, any one of those guys could be the guy, which makes us more dangerous as an offense. So
If you want football action, you want offense, Tulsa Oilers, the place to come to, I'll tell you. 216 points through their first 5 games this season, including, I mentioned, 68, 45, and 46 points. Let's back up some more against the Barnstormers this
yes,
week.
sir.
Buddy.
That's the plan. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for having
Great
me.
to meet you. I know Marvin talked some great things about you. I can see why. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Come right back and talk now next with our other Oilers, the Ice Oilers. Recap their season. The head coach, Rob Murray, when we come back on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Winning racing action is back this spring at Remington Park. The top horses in quarter horse paint and Appaloosa racing are featured throughout the month of May at Remington Park. Saturday, May 31st is the final night of the season. It's Champions Night, led by Oklahoma's richest race, the $1 million Heritage Place Futurity. The Remington Park Racing Week is Thursday through Sunday. First race 6 p.m. nightly, Sunday racing at 4 p.m. Champions Night on May 31st begins at 5 p.m. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to ensure the perfect fit, so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. The OK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. Tulsa Oilers finished their 2024-25 season. It's 32nd of hockey with several franchise records. And to give us his wrap-up on the entire season and some of the accomplishments, always great to have the head coach of the Tulsa Oilers in his 8th season here, is Rob Murray. Coach, 40 wins and some great road record too.
Yeah, you know, we had 22 road wins.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was playing, and Coach always said to me, you got to be 500 or over on the road to be considered good, right? Yeah. And we blew that away. And it's funny because I don't know that in the moment that we kind of realized what we were doing. We just kept playing well on the road. And so not that it would have put on any extra pressure at all, but it definitely helped us get to that 40 wins. I mean, that's without a doubt. You're not going to get there without winning a lot on the road too. So, you know, for that was a great accomplishment. I thought we played well through the playoffs. You know, last time you and I talked, we lost last year 4 straight to Kansas City, and I don't even know that we really put up much of a fight in that. But this series we really did, and
took it to 6 games.
6 games, and you know, you always look back at what could have been. And the second game in Kansas City, we won the first game 4-1. And then the second game, we're winning 2-1 with less than a minute to go. And they tied it up and won it in overtime. You know, that's the way it goes. But if that had gone the other way, it could have been a different series. But I thought we competed really hard. You know, we put up a really good fight. Again, it doesn't make it any better. But last year, it was kind of like an empty feeling. And this year, I felt like we put our best foot forward and just came up short.
In the playoffs, by the way, we had that opening win in Kansas City, which was incredible, and came back and had lost 3 straight, including a couple here at home. And then we came back and won 4-1 in Game 5 to force that Game 6 up in Kansas City. A big win for us.
Game 5 was far and away our best game.
Yeah.
I mean, there was emotion, there was energy, there was just everybody played well, you know, and you know, that was a deserving win. You know, like we deserved that game for sure. And you know, the first game in Kansas City, we went in the third period down 2-0. So obviously we didn't win 4-1, maybe 4-2 we won.
4-2, yeah.
And so, you know, we battled back in that game, but really that Friday game was the most complete game that we played in the series, that third game at home. And it was a lot of fun because, again, going back to last year, we finished at home and, you know, we're shaking hands on home ice. You don't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't want to lose anywhere, but it's kind of a, you know, it's a little bit demoralizing when you have to do it at home.
Long season. When did you get these guys together for the first time in training camp? I know the very first game, we opened the season October the 19th, and ended the season in that final playoff game, Game 6, on April the 28th.
Yeah, no, it's a long series or season, Chris. I mean, 72 games. I mean, I don't want. There's been talk about bringing down the amount of games, but I like the way it is, and that's how I was as a player, because they talk about more rest, more practice time, and yeah, you get that if you were to diminish the schedule a little bit, but as a player, you want to play games.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for. So I hope they, again, I think our schedule came out or is coming out soon, and I know it's going to be 72 games again next year. And yeah, I think, we start beginning of October training camp, and a lot of these guys that we get, especially the contracted guys, they've already been, at that point, they've already been to a rookie tournament, they've been to the NHL camp, and then the American League camp by the time they even come here, and we haven't even started in Tulsa. So a lot of these guys have been going from basically Labor Day on to the point of, like you said, April 28th.
Well, you're affiliated with the Anaheim Ducks in the NHL, the San Diego Gulls in the AHL. How much player movement do you have? How many kids were you able to develop and move on to those levels?
Well, we had, early on this season, we had two forwards, Sasha Pasajov and Jackson Weave, did very well with us down here. And when they got called up, never came back. And we didn't get replacements.
Yeah,
they took the two.
Yeah.
They didn't have the bodies to reinforce us down here. We did get a lot of help on the backside. We had a goaltender, and through the playoffs we had 4 contracted defensemen. So that was a help throughout the season. But again, a guy like Sasha Pasajov, and second-year pro, spent the whole year in San Diego last year. They decided to send him down at the beginning of this season. Had a great start for us, went up there, and he got injured late in the season. By that point, he was the leading scorer in San Diego.
Good for him, yeah.
And so those are the feel good stories, and that's what we're here to win. I mean, we've got a separate ownership. We're not necessarily tied to our affiliate in that way. But those stories are great when a guy gets a chance to go and then has success.
Who do you feel are some of the key players for you this season, Coach? And do you think we'll get some of these guys returning here in 25-26?
Well, we had our exit meetings, and it seems like a large crew want to come back.
That's right.
A guy like Tyler Polson, he's already committed to coming back, and that kid just gives you everything every night. Might not be the best game, but you know that you're going to get 100% out of them. Both our goalies, in my mind, we had the best tandem in the league. We had Talon Boyko from the New York Rangers organization and Vyacheslav Budiets from the Anaheim organization. And I, in my time here and my time in this league, I've never had a tandem that good. And fortunately enough, we carried a third goalie, Luke Lush. I think he might have gotten into 3 games this year, but he was around all year long. But at times where either Budiets was up, Boyko was here, or Boyko was up, Budiets was here. I mean, it really did. It worked out great. There was one 3-game set that we had in Wheeling, 2 in Wheeling and Fort Wayne, where we had both goaltenders up, and then Luke Lush played for us in Wheeling the first night and got a shutout. So our goaltending was great, but there's probably too many guys to really name. But we had a great year out of Reed Petrick. Some of our returning defensemen, Mike McKee, 8th year here, 8th year with me, and I swear Mike's getting better all the time. And Mike's already in his 30s, but he's getting better all the time. And I know that as far as I know, he'd be here as long as he can be.
Doesn't surprise me. These guys in the next interview say, we want to be in Tulsa. This facility, Lee Street Ice Center, BOK Center, anything matched like that in the league?
I don't think so, Chris. I don't even think at the next level like they have these kind of facilities. So, for me, that's one of the things that Andy has provided for us, because
Andy Skirtle, our owner.
Sorry, Andy Skirtle, the owner of the team, and what he's by building this, really everybody knows somebody else on another team. Or guys coming out of college or whatever. Sure. And we want Tulsa to be a landing spot where guys want to go. And we don't have the beaches like the teams in Florida, so you're battling with that. but you want to provide the best working atmosphere as you can, and I think that's what we do here, and it's only getting better.
So how much of a break do you get now, Coach? What are you doing in the off season? Is it off season for you?
It's off season. I mean, I'm not on the clock. I mean,
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that we do is obviously virtual, and I can pick up the phone anywhere in the country and call somebody. So I'm in and out of the office a little bit. I'm around all summer for the most part, and I'm always in here for an hour or two every day, and then try to get to the NHL draft. Scott and I went to a coaches clinic in Ann Arbor last year, and they have it every year, and we might take that in again. So a little bit of travel in the summertime, but for the most part, it's all recruiting at this point, and not necessarily yet, but that'll heat up real soon.
We're also in the middle of the Stanley Cup playoffs, so real quickly, Coach, you have a favorite for the Stanley Cup? Great game so far.
Well, honestly, I thought Colorado was the team, and I've said that for the last 3 years, and they've gotten beaten out. I like Dallas. I like how they're playing. I tell you what, that game last night with Winnipeg and St. Louis, I mean, my heart goes out to the St. Louis guys because, I mean, they had it won. I mean, 3-1 with less than...
They scored, what, 2 goals in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And one with, what, less than a minute? That wasn't... Oh.
1.3 seconds, I think. So and then they lost in overtime, Game 7. I mean, that's the game.
Yeah.
That's any sport, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so, I don't know. It's right now. Like I said, I had my money on Colorado, but I'm putting my money back on Dallas now.
Coach Murray, head coach of our Tulsa Oilers, will be back for season number 9, right, Coach?
I will be.
All right, looking forward to it. Come right back in just a moment here with our Remington Race Report. Stay with us here.
Winning racing action is back this spring at Remington Park. The top horses in quarter horse paint and Appaloosa racing are featured throughout the month of May at Remington Park. Saturday, May 31st is the final night of the season. It's Champions Night, led by Oklahoma's richest race, the $1 million Heritage Place Futurity. The Remington Park Racing Week is Thursday through Sunday. First race 6 p.m. nightly, Sunday racing at 4 p.m. Champions Night on May 31st begins at 5 p.m. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. The OK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
A big week on tap at Remington Park with the $1 million trials for the Heritage Place Futurity, also the Heritage Place Derby trials and Heritage Place Oaks trials. We'll have more of those races later. Let's give the 2-year-old paints the spotlight as they battled on the first Friday in May at Remington Park in the American Paint Classic. The top favorites for the American Paint Classic were number 3, Pretty Little Poison, and number 6, Turbulent, going 330 yards. They're off in the American Paint Classic. PT got a Philly, stayed back. Good start. Vexing Queen away sharply. Pretty Little Poison jumps out to the front. Coming on out Turbulent. Farther out runs from Slingshot Engage, and even farther out Turnpike Jammer. It's Pretty Little Poison with work to do inside. Here's Turnpike Jammer. Here comes Turbulent. Pretty Little Poison scores the American Paint Classic. Pretty Little Poison followed up an outstanding trial run with a win in the final, almost as impressive. Owned, trained, and bred in Oklahoma by Matt Whitekiller of South Oklahoma. His first win as an owner in the American Paint Classic, his 5th as a trainer. Francisco Calderon was the winning jockey. It's his 2nd victory in the American Paint Classic. Pretty Little Poison was favored and paid $5.60 for the win. Turnpike Jammer was very game on the outside, a close 2nd. Turbulent, number 6, was right there 3rd, and Slingshot Engage finishing 4th. The American Paint Classic, all owned by Pretty Little Poison. Very solid effort in scoring a $120,000 final. The first Saturday in May featured the simulcast of the Kentucky Derby at Remington Park. While the weather at Churchill Downs was not nice, the weather at Remington Park was perfect. Temperature in the low 70s and a sun-drenched crowd enjoying the festivities, including the hat and tie style contest for big cash prizes. Remington Park racing at 5 p.m. on Thursday, May 8th, and also 5 p.m. on Friday, May 9th. Why? 13 trials each of those nights for the $1 million Heritage Place Futurity. Then on Saturday, May 10th, we'll feature Heritage Place Derby trials. Among those expected, the winner of the 2024 Heritage Place Futurity, Kempton. They're off on the Heritage Place Futurity. Good start. Hot Temptation away sharply outside. Kempton right there, trying to come on. I'm mesmerized. And Curl's Magic Wagon full of run. Here's Juicebox getting into it as well. Kempton on the advantage on the outside, up by more than a length. Hot Temptation, Fire Eagle coming on. It's Kempton in the Heritage Place Futurity. Kempton scheduled for his first start of 2025 in the May 10th Heritage Place Derby trials. First race at 6 p.m. on that Saturday. Then on Sunday, Heritage Place Oaks trials on May 11th. First race will be at 4 p.m. In Oklahoma City at Remington Park, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
On Kentucky Derby Day, I had the great honor to be a host of the Run for the Roses party Tulsa Boys Home puts on at the Expo Square Pavilion. This was the Daniel L. Christner Family Foundation Run for the Roses, and it truly was their foundation that made this such a special event. That family, in the trucking business for years and years, has contributed $250,000 to be the title sponsor of the Run for the Roses party. And they have also made a commitment to do it for the next 5 years. Along with that, we had a silent auction, we had a live auction, we had ticket sales, and all in all, for the Tulsa Boys Home Boys, we raised over $770,000. Our congratulations to Greg Conway, the executive director, who announced also his retirement for the event. It was a great event. Hope you put on your calendar to be part of it next year. Every Derby Day on the first Saturday in May, Tulsa Boys Home, Expo Square Pavilion. It's an incredible event. I invite you to come out there and be part of it. You'll change some lives there, as they say. The Boys Home goes back to 1918. And the slogan is, they change lives for a lifetime. We'll come back with a wrap-up and a look ahead to a very special show next week after we take this final break.
Winning racing action is back this spring at Remington Park. The top horses in quarter horse paint and Appaloosa racing are featured throughout the month of May at Remington Park. Saturday, May 31st is the final night of the season. It's Champions Night, led by Oklahoma's richest race, the $1 million Heritage Place Futurity. The Remington Park Racing Week is Thursday through Sunday. First race 6 p.m. nightly, Sunday racing at 4 p.m. Champions Night on May 31st begins at 5 p.m. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene, a show you won't want to miss. We go one-on-one with Bill Haston, longtime columnist for the Tulsa World, award-winning columnist. So many great stories. We'll talk about his time with the Sooners, the Cowboys, the Hurricane, and the Golden Eagles. That's because he's the only sports writer in Tulsa history to cover the beat of all four of those teams on a daily basis. Bill Haston, some great stories coming up next on Oklahoma Sports Scene. See you next week. Until then, as always remind you, be a good sport.